Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Attack Productions. Today I'm back being joined once again by Jimmy, Nick, and like always, Fluff.
This is so disappointing.
Maybe for you.
For all of us, for sure.
Kind of confused what's going on. I'm kind of confused what just happened there as well. But hey, today's matchup is Jimmy versus Nick. This is actually our finals from this past weekend. We've kind of seen both these decks already in action, so you know Jimmy's playing a new take on Soul Striker, or AKA Goku, whatever you want to call it now.
No, it's just Soul Striker.
It's just Soul Striker. You guys ain't been.
Yeah.
Whoever told you Godku, like, that's stupid. The leader is Soul Striker.
Yeah, I feel like it was both you and Jimmy. And then we got Nick playing U7 Goku. So, guys, let's get with it.
Man. Tell me about your meta deck.
Meta? You're playing meta too. What are you talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You're playing the most meta deck ever.
Nah.
Technically, the deck just come out.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Also, real quick, I want to point out, this is the camera that's at the weird lighting, but luckily Nick is playing normal instead of left-handed, so that way all the cards can be seen, except for his drop.
Except for the most important cards.
It's fine. It's in the drop.
Yeah, so Red U7, it likes to burst cards, likes to have its cards in the drop area, gets tons of effects for your battle cards having cards in the drop area, and the leader effectively bursts 4 unawakened, so you burst 3, draw a card, drop a card, so you're going to be able to get your drop area pretty high pretty quickly for all of your sparking effects. It's really fun in this matchup. I've played against Soul Striker before, but not this list in particular, so I kind of wanted to have like a hybrid style fight. I wanted to pressure him while also keeping myself high life. Then normally with this list, I like to combo early on to keep my life pretty high, and then I have a lot of battle cards that give me dual attack, double strike, so good pressure pieces to where I can keep his leader on the back foot while I'm still staying high life.
So I had played against a few different variations of U7, all different types. I played against a control version, a weird invoker version, like an incredibly fast aggro version. So I didn't really know what Nick's style of the deck was going to be. But knowing Nick as a player, I know he likes just turning cards sideways. So I was prepped for that, but once I seen the like slightly slower approach, I kind of had to kind of gauge myself, because I didn't want to switch gears into playing the control match, but then, get fucked on the back end because he turns around and starts swinging hard at me.
Yeah, and that's kind of the beauty of U7, just because more or less this deck is just more the archetype. I mean, there's a lot of tech choices in there, but you can really play it however you want to in whatever matchup you're depending. It's got the aggro pieces, it's got slow control, big boss monsters for the end. You can almost play it however you want to in the moment, which I really like it. I like the versatility of the deck a lot.
And I think if you really analyze how I'm playing, you can see me kind of switching between okay, I need to start trying to take control of the game because he's trying to play the control match, and hey, I'm going to play on the back foot and try to just not die. You see me switching between that a lot here, and it was really, really hard to play this match.
Yeah, and you can't see the card right now, but it's the Golden Frieza dual attacker, and on play it'll neg a battle card -15, so I was able to remove that Goku Black on play.
Which I pretty much knew that I wasn't going to keep anything 15k on the field, because due to the Piccolo Unison and also it's red, it's going to have some form of negging. And luckily, I don't run many cards that are under the 15k threshold. Like the Goku Black and my Samatsu the Eliminator are the only 2 cards that, that I'm playing and possibly turning sideways, that are going to be affected there. I was really just hoping to survive long enough to put a boss monster on field and catch you with your pants down, whether it was a failed push for game or just not expecting such a big boss monster so quickly. And Crown of Ret, easily the MVP of this match. Like, easily. I don't see any doubt that Crown of Ret was just the best card in this whole entire matchup.
Yeah, just having the hand knowledge. Yeah, having the hand knowledge and being able to anticipate your turns as you're playing them, and being able to snipe important pieces of the deck came in handy, and hitting that boss monster really helped.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was one of the cards I was going to rely on in this match, because I knew if you went wide, U7 doesn't have a massive unison to swing with, because I know you're not running the Secret Rare Gohanks. The leaders, nothing to write home about. It's the battle cards that make up this deck. And if I can put a card on field that says your opponent cannot attack your leader card with battle cards, then that gives me so much precious time to get where I need to be.
Yeah, and here's one of the counterplays for the archetype. I think it's just called Sun Goku. I can't remember, but it's an Ultra Instinct Goku card, and it's a counterplay where you just play the card, and then you can neg a battle card minus 15k, and then if you reduce its power to 0 or less, you get to draw a card. So if your opponent decides to play a weenie or anything, you'll get to replace itself, and then it's a 19k body. So nothing to scoff at. So it adds pretty good pressure, and the on play is pretty good for 1 energy.
I will say we're also seeing a different take on this deck than what we saw you earlier this week against Jake, because your board didn't get nearly this big against Jake, so it's just interesting to see what this deck can potentially do with the right type of cards in hand.
Yeah, granted, a lot of the battle cards have autoplay, activate main plays, but they're all limit 1. So most of the times you'll get to play 1 of each battle card per turn, but none of them are unique. So you get to, if your opponent's not interacting with the board at all, and in Blue's case, it doesn't have too many options, you're able to keep a board and build it up for cheap and quickly.
And here, you're just trying to push him to get down to the 2 life or 1 life?
So if it's the Secret Rare, then they have to be a 1 life because it burns 1. But at this point, he's not doing much, so I figured I might as well just push my pressure, get some cards out of his hand. His board has been pretty low this whole game so far. My board has been wide with dual attacker, double striker stuff. So, I figured just might as well just keep going.
I think one of the, probably the only bad thing about U7 is that it is so incredibly telegraphed. That if I see my opponent pushing to get, on a single strike attack or, anything of that nature, I know it's like, okay, they're going for game this turn. This is where I need to step up and make sure that doesn't happen. So once you started comboing all of those cards, I was like, okay, he thinks he can win the game right now, or at least put me in a crippling position. And I just had to take the path of least resistance, which was putting the Kefla out there and just bottom decking the card. And I still didn't want to use my Unison ability to restand, because I wanted to keep the -3 up in case you tried to play one of your boss monsters, where I could just put it back in hand, just not have to worry about it for a turn.
And unfortunately, if I'm correct, well, that card has deflect naturally, actually, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that card's it's just straight up difficult to deal with in any matchup. I think red is the only deck that can easily deal with it at any stage. But blue, there's blue yellow can tap it down. If you're there's nothing I can do other than just either take the damage or combo out my entire hand to not deal with it.
Yeah, and here I did one of the new Realm of Gods activate battle cards, Ultra Instinct. In this case, on my turn, I can choose a battle card greater than my opponent's energy and give it minus 30k. So I was able to just neg the Kefla out immediately. I did that because I didn't want to see that card on board for more than one turn. I definitely didn't want him to use it on his turn because I didn't want him to get draws. I didn't want him to get dual attacks. So I figured I might as well just remove it now because I could, and just use the 1 energy just to save myself for defense.
Yeah. And also, if you can't tell, the white piece of paper on field right now is Divine Presence Goku, which I think is probably tied with Crown of Red as the best red card in the game.
Yeah, so currently in my list, I'm only running it at a 2 of, but I was able to see it all night. I think all 3 games I played, I was able to get that on the board.
So what does blue do against this deck? What are your thoughts moving forward from this point? Because you've kind of Hail Married with the Kefla, put her out, and he just for 1 energy just basically said, nah, you don't get to keep her. What is your thought moving forward? Like, how are you planning on working through this field?
Floodgates. Like, just at this point, I'm thinking I just need to floodgate him out until he has no other option. Like, it's either push to the point where you're just going to kill yourself by playing into the floodgate, or what's the word I'm trying to say here? I lost my train of thought. I apologize. Even though there was a final array, I still think playing Secret ID to get rid of Divine Presence was absolutely the play. Because I just did not want to deal with a pretty much uninteractable dual attacker. But U7's just insanely strong. Now that I know the deck better, at least Nick's variation of it, I feel like I will have a much, much easier time playing against it in the future. But then again, there's so many paths this deck can take that I think this deck is going to be a monster in the best of 1. Because you have no time to figure out what's happening.
Real quick.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to ask just a quick question that may have already been asked. You +1 on your unison. I'm trying to figure out why. When you attacked with it instead.
Because it's an activate battle to get the effect.
Oh, but you said the +1 value. Okay.
Yeah, I just did the +1 just to put a marker on it.
Yeah, sorry. I forgot you could do that for a moment.
Because it negated the leader swing. I got the untap 2 off of that, but I was not able to get the next untap. And the only card that I could really put out from my hand without putting myself in a bad position was just overwhelming the Bardock after the Violent Ray, just to clear the field. So I just swung with the Unison and +1 and passed. And then threw Oceanus out there, which you're really low on cards at this point. Like I was saying, the Floodgate is going to be my best friend here.
Yeah, playing the Oceanus was huge, especially because I have been bursting pretty much every turn, 3 to 4 cards. So being able to just stop me at that point, I literally could not push. I think at this point in the game I was at 10 cards maybe in deck. The filter power through this is just ridiculous. So especially with that floodgate in particular, I just have to be careful and just say pass and go on defense.
And in response to the Beerus play, you played the Goku that next 15, put Beerus at 1, and then I just tried to swing into the token to get something.
Yeah, I knew the Beerus did something, but I didn't remember when it KOs a battle card, so I just didn't want to give you that. Granted, it's just a token, but I would rather combo 1 card, especially a super combo, just to stop you from being able to extend your plays out.
Yeah, allowing him to bottom deck 1 of your life and then reset with double strike may not have been in your best interest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that draw could have been huge. The extra double strike attack could be huge. But still, it got a resource out defending a card that's inconsequential.
Here you're just getting Grand Priest ready for another -3, I assume.
Yeah, hopefully. Because I know the Secret Rare is in hand. I know it's likely to come out again. I know it's likely that he's not going to walk into it again. So I wanted to put enough markers on there that it basically made the Unison unkillable.
And you set up with a blocker as well as an extra forward protection.
Mm-hmm. So right here was a pretty big misplay. So I choose to untap the blue-yellow off of my Goku Black. And this was just a complete oversight in my head because I was imagining or thinking in my head, also another huge Crownerette, I was thinking in my head, like, I'm going to -3 no matter what. There will not be a situation where I don't -3. I will not need to untap a God card in my energy using my Unison. And that's just me not thinking, oh yeah, there's multiple lines of play here. That there might be a situation where I need to +1 instead of -3.
Yeah, so he's already started to establish enough energy where now he can't play the Secret Rare.
Mm.
Yeah, that was one of the things too where I knew I couldn't go into the Secret Rare safely, so I figured it was just better just to go into the Vegeta, because I was able to clear the board and I was able to get rid of that blocker so I can go in.
And if you saw there, I went to untap my energy. I was like, oh shit, that's not a God card. I can't do that. So like, I pretty much wasted a Unison +1. Of course, I did get a free 10k combo that put my Kefla out there, but that Kefla is only going to go so far. And I think you will see it. A card that I rip off of my life would have been absolutely huge, but I don't have the energy to do it. And if I just had some foresight into what I'm doing, you see
there. Yeah, if you would have took that first hit.
Because at that stage, pretty much one swing with Oceanus on the field was, that was death sentence.
It's one of those things where it's unfortunate when those RNG moments you can't control. Do I take that damage and go down to 2 life, knowing that I can get double striked right afterwards, or do I defend myself and then it happens to be that 3rd life could have been your saving grace?
Yep.
I think it's happened to everyone. So, and with that being said, thank you all for tuning in. Keep mind this button symbol in on the screen while Fluff does the outro. Oh, and congrats to Nick, because that was the finals.
Yeah, congrats to Nick. That really, those RNG moments, they're the absolute worst. I like to call those get good moments. If you were the champion, you would have saw that coming. Read your cards, know your plays. Let us make the mistakes so that you don't have to, and as always, Fluff out.